Hello, BookTube. In addition to the morning's mail and the afternoon's mail and the mid-afternoon's mail, I also got a fugitive little package. I just got one little package all on its own. I'm not even quite sure, since it has stickers all over it. I'm not sure who delivered it. Might have been FedEx, but the timing wasn't right. But one way or another, when I got only one package in the mail, I thought, you know, we almost never do that. We're almost always rifling through piles of books. And what if we didn't? What if we considered just one book? We've sometimes done that in the past. I had to laugh when I saw the package. I was remembering I was just recently had lunch with an old friend of mine, and by this I mean very old. He's extremely old. I'm amazed that he's still alive. And he starts every lunch by saying, "I'm amazed I'm still alive." But in his day, he was an author. I have seen his books on shelves of a few booktubers. And he was also an academic, and as a result, he gets review copies, but they've dwindled. He's moved, and now they don't happen in the steady stream that they used to. And every once in a while, he will get one in the mail, and it's startling to him to get a book in the mail. And I was recently at lunch with him, and he had one such book with him. He thought, well, if I'm going to get a book in the mail, I had best read it, hadn't I? And he looked at me. He looked at me across the table, and he said, "You actively review still? You must get the occasional book in the mail." I'm not going to tell him about BookTube. But anyway, we have one package. So let's go through this. Let's open it and see all the things that we can know about a book at the beginning. All the things that as a reader, and also, you know, from my own perspective, which I imagine you've become used to watching this channel, although there are quite a few more of you, quite a few new people, welcome. Also from the viewpoint of this channel, professionally, what I think, in addition to a reader, what I think as a reviewer when I look at one package in the mail. So let's do that. Let's open just one and see what we make of it. I'm sure there'll be more mail today. Let's see what this is. A brightly colored thing. Oh, okay, it's a novel in translation. It comes out in April, in late April. It's by Sofia Segovia, and it's translated by Simone Bruni. And it is The Murmur of Bees, which automatically, again, makes me a little wistful, because Miss Saint-Edma had a thing about bees, and I would certainly have given her this book. just to tease her, I would certainly have given her this book. So what have we got? Oh, okay, this is from Amazon Crossing. Amazon's very ambitious translated literature arm, pouring a lot of money and a lot of really good editorial decisions into Amazon Crossing, which is literature in translation. So, in other words, literature that Amazon has to expect to take a bit of a hit on financially, and they're doing it anyway. And I've noticed from the authors picked and the works picked that they have a fairly conscientious editorial team. So this is a major thing. This is a major, regardless of what I myself have thought in the past about Amazon's capitalist ways, and no matter what I think about their marketplace practices today, this is a legitimately important thing that they're doing, flooding these new ambitious translations of contemporary literature into the marketplace, into what is, after all, by far the biggest books marketplace in the world. That's fairly ambitious, and that doesn't have a negative. The way they sell these books, the way they market their wares, or the way they deal with authors or companies or countries, that's all a separate thing. But this, seen on its own, is only a good thing for the Republic of Letters. And I used to think otherwise. I used to have, as you know, if you've watched this channel for a long time, I used to have deep ethical qualms about Amazon. But if the President of the United States in 2018 hates you, then I like you. So I have changed my ways about Amazon. I now read all their stuff without any ethical qualms whatsoever. The books stand apart from what the company does in the boardroom. I also bought Amazon Prime, which is, you know, a subscription service of theirs that is, if you're involved, well worth the money. Yeah, it's just an enemy of my enemy is my friend type thing. I'm even starting to like the French. So let's see what we have here for The Murmur of Bees. Sofia Segovia is a Mexican author. So those of you who are in Mexico, do you know this author? She has dazzled Spanish-language readers around the world with her lyrical novels of magical realism, and has been widely hailed as the next Isabel Allende. And in April, her beloved book, El Murmullo de las Abejas, will be published in English for the first time by Amazon Crossing as The Murmur of Bees, masterfully translated by Simone Bruni. Set against the backdrop of the Mexican Revolution and the Spanish influenza of 1918, The Murmur of Bees is the story of a remarkable young boy, physically disfigured but psychically gifted, and his profound effect on the close-knit farming community who adopts him in a northeast Mexican village. From the moment old Nana Reja found the baby abandoned under a bridge, the lives of the Morales family are changed forever, covered in a living mantle of bees that will accompany and guide him through his entire life. Oh my God. Little Simonopio is, for some locals, the stuff of superstition, a child kissed by the devil. But landowners Francisco and Beatriz Morales welcome him into their home as if he were their own. As he grows up, Simonopio reveals his... Simonopio? I'm not really sure how you pronounce that name. I don't think I've ever seen that name before. Reveals his remarkable talents. When he closes his eyes, he can see what no one else can. Visions of all that's yet to come, both beautiful and dangerous. Followed by his protective swarm of bees and living to deliver his adoptive family from threats, both human and those of nature, Simonopio's purpose in Linares will in time be divined. And the author was inspired to write the novel by the stories her grandfather told about his life in Linares and by his determination to offer a fresh perspective on a time and place she felt had been overlooked in the official history books. So the pub sheet says this is a beloved book, so I assume this came out a long time ago. Oh, it's loaded with Spanish language critical blurbs. Loaded with them. This came out in 2015, so if it was beloved in Mexico, I imagine those of you who are in Mexico will have known it. And now it's in English, or will be. In April, it will be in English. So there you go. That is the consideration of one book. This will come out in April. I will almost certainly review it and take the opportunity to praise Amazon Crossing just as a program. And everything that's left will be the usual rigmarole. My usual rigmarole. If I feel certain that I'm going to review a book and it's a translation from a language that I can read, then what I like to do in the interval of time between when I get the advanced copy and when my review is going up is to get a copy of the original and read it after I've read the English translation in order to sort of keep an eye on the translator in order to see if maybe it's missing something. I mean, all translations lose something, but in best case scenarios, they also gain something. It's only in worst case scenarios, which is, a lot of the time, that they lose something and that thing is just gone. And I want to know that. I want to know if I'm reading an impaired version of the book. Probably not, but that's what I will spend my time doing. I will contact the publicist of this book and see if maybe a copy of the original is floating around or is available so that I can read them both. But in the meantime, I'm not obviously going to deal with this or even think about it because it's so far ahead. It's the spring, and we're on the doorstep of winter. So I don't have to worry about 2019 books in mid-November. So I will just put this. I recently redid my books and on my work bookcase, and I set up everything well into the new year. So April has its own shelf, and that shelf is very full. So I'll just put this on that shelf. So we will discuss it again in April. That's one book. That was one book. So I'll wrap this up, but I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.